Hey everyone, so today I'm still working on some embellishments for this journal. This time I'm making tuck spots and pockets. So when I start a project, I usually gather up a bunch of things, and not everything's going to make the cut, but that's the fun part, is just pulling things that I think might look nice together. I'll show you some of the things that I was looking at. So obviously I gathered up some lace, and some of this will be used. I had this gorgeous spine from an old Reader's Digest. These were made out of kind of like a flimsy cardboard, so a lot of these just snap off when the book gets older. But these colors are beautiful, and I know I will end up using this, but in this project I ended up not. And then I have, you know, in the flashcards you get some of these at the back. So I was thinking of using maybe this as the background of a pocket, you know. And then a little paper bag. This is a really nice size inside a journal, and you can use the fold here. It's already made for you as a pocket. Then I was thinking maybe decorating that. So this is one option. Then I have this little paint sample that's in the shape of a leaf, and I know this would look really nice in a nature themed journal. So I was looking at that as a possibility for something. And then just my usual photo slides. This one here is one that I altered in a past video. It's got the little pressed rose in there, tiny little roses that I have on a bush outside. So that was an option. It might still make it into the journal at some point. And then little bits of lace and stuff. In the end, this is the little pile of things that I chose. So I will show you a couple of these that I made ahead of time to try them out. This here is going to be a little tuck spot, and it's the backing in a package of these My Mind's Eye little cards, these little 3x4 cards. So when you get the package, this is in the back. And then these are the paper dolls from Tim Holtz. And I just put, I don't know if you can see, there's some dangly little lace there. And these leaves are from a tree book, a book about trees. And then just some lace that I wrapped around on the bottom. So this is going to be a tuck spot that I put on the corner of a page, and I can stick things in behind. This one, if you buy Tim Holtz products, you'll recognize the card. This is from the foliage little metal charms. So I thought that was an appropriate card to use for this book because it says foliage on it. And I didn't alter the card or this packaging whatsoever. I simply cut out my Harper's Bazaar lady, and I cut out some images from nature books, from a mushroom book and a book of trees and plants, and then I collaged these little elements onto the card. The lady I left sort of glued just part ways so that I can use her as the pocket or tuck spot. And then I just added a button with some layered fibers behind it and a little piece of lace there. And some lace on the bottom. So this little pile here is what I'm going to be working on today. I've got a couple of tag tuck spots and a couple of page pockets. I went ahead and cut out all of the elements I'm going to be using. And on this one here, I've got some leaves that I cut out from a book. I've got a little girl. This is a Tim Holtz. And this is a merchandise tag, nice and sturdy. This elastic is probably going to have to go. But I liked the sort of vintage feel on this one, so I'm going to use that. This will be a tuck spot. This one here is another merchandise tag. This is one of those long Levi's tags. And again, I'll use one of these paper dolls. And I just cut out a from a tree book again. So somehow I'll make that work together. This here is one of those Prima Flowers packaging, and I just cut the top. I'll probably flip that over and make a pocket here on the bottom. And I've cut out again some images from a book, and this lady from the Harper's Bazaar, 1876. I have lots and lots of these, and some of them were not stored very well over the years before I acquired them, so some of the paper is stained and darker. So I'm using some of these original ones, but I'm also scanning them. And then this one here is one of those glassine envelopes. It's about 3 by 5 or 6, but I'm going to use it sideways like that. So I've cut out some leaves from a book, and I've got another mushroom here and another lady. Now what I did for you guys, if you are interested in these 3 lovely ladies, I have scanned them just as is. I didn't do any editing to them. I scanned them, and I have the JPEG file and I have a PDF file of these 3 ladies on a page. You could print them out. They are the same size as I'm using, and you could you know, use them in collages or tuck spots like I'm doing here. So the link to that file is below in the description. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of this elastic here, but it's got a really cute little safety pin and it's black, so I'm going to save that for something, either in this journal or not. I'm not sure yet. And I'm just working out the placement here. That's kind of cute like that. And then I can just trim off the excess of the leaves. I'm using a permanent glue stick for this. So far, that's been working out. I don't want to cover up the numbers too much, but in the end I'm not sure we're going to see them all that much, but that's okay. So on this one I had a little piece of lace just behind them. I like having something in the back of these images. It just gives them like a little bit of dimension. So I think I'm going to do the same somewhere on here, so that she's sort of lifted off of the tag a bit. Actually, I don't want to hide too much of the lettering, so maybe I'll just add this little piece on the bottom like that. That'll be alright. And I'll put something in the back of her just to pop her off of the tag a little bit. Okay, so I just have a little square scrap of upholstery fabric, and it's just enough to lift the girl off of the tag. This doesn't matter. This is a tuck spot, so even if this is showing, you're not going to see it once this is glued to the journal page, so it's all good. This is really cute lace, isn't it? It's all these little dangles. Love it. There we go. That's pretty simple. And once I put it in the book, I'm just gluing it to the two sides here, and I'll be able to tuck things into the back. So that's two. This one's gonna have the same little dangles and this little lace behind her on the bottom. And just this is like a flowering tree bud of some kind, I forget which one. So that'll just be up top somewhere, like that. Just trying to decide if this is going to work at all. Maybe it'll work on top of her. Oh, that would look really cute. Okay, so I'm going to need to pop her off of the tag as well. Not sure if these dangles will be too long. Might have to trim those a bit. Don't want them covering her face, so. Okay, I'm not sure about these. Maybe I'll just end up gluing this leaf to the top. Okay, I'm definitely undecided as to what else I'm gonna do here. So usually when I hit a wall like that, I just put it away and come back to it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do with this is back this with some cardstock because she's too flimsy. If I was just collaging onto the back, that would be fine. I would just leave her as is. But I'm going to use her like as the tuck spot herself, so that's too flimsy for that. So the first thing I usually do is I just glue the whole scrap of paper together, and then I fussy cut them together. And in this image, she's sort of working on a vase of flowers. She's arranging the flowers. So at this point, I usually try and decide how much of the image I can actually keep without it looking too strange, you know, because there's a lot of details here with all these wispy little leaves and flowers. So I'm not sure that I can keep any of that, maybe just around the bottom here. Fussy cutting's definitely not one of my favorite activities. But I find that if I'm holding my blade or my scissors and just turning the picture as I go, seems to work out pretty good. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut some of these darker flowers. Oh, we'll see what happens. I will cut the vase in as well. Another thing I do with these, because there's a bit of a white border now, I go in and I'm just using the Distress Ink old paper. It just darkens the edges just enough. Now some of her silhouette will be removed, so just working out where I'm putting stuff. I could just have done like this one where the actual images are the pocket, but I decided I'm going to actually make a pocket and then add the elements to the pocket itself. So I think that looks okay, and then with the straight edge on the top, maybe I'll do a piece of lace at the top instead of the bottom, because the bottom's got the nice little outline there. So this piece of her dress here will get cut off. I don't know if you can hear them, but I have crows just outside the window. We have a huge composter, and every time we put new goodies in, we get a visit from the crows, the crow family. They basically live here. We have a few generations of them that have come back to make their nests in our huge pine tree at the back. They come back every year. Now they're having breakfast. Okay, so I cut her to follow the shape there, and everything's sort of half dry. Just going to make sure things are sliding in. And I want a piece of lace for the top there. I'll go with these little flowers. There we go. Okay, now with this one, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to back the image onto this cardstock, but I'm thinking I'm going to back the this as well, because I may put this little extra piece onto just the flap, so that to open the flap you're opening with this entire image on there. Okay, now when I glued this to the lady here, there was a bit of white in between the branches that I couldn't get to with my scissors. So I just went in with this Faber-Castell these Pitt pens. And I just rubbed that in with my finger. I put a little bit of marker, rubbed it in with my finger. So now it's just kind of blending in because it was like a, you know, a big white spot there. I'm going to need to mark where it's going on here so that I don't glue too far out. Okay, so now I just need to trim the edges off of these images. And then if I wanted to tuck something in, because of the glassine, you can see it through the paper. So that's kind of cute. So I've got my 3 pockets here, and I was able to repurpose some packaging, so that's always a good thing. And then I've got my tuck spots. This one here is also some packaging, and then a couple of merchandise tags. And this one here, what I ended up doing is putting a leaf on the back and attaching it with a brad, so then her face isn't covered up with any of the lace or the leaf. This was a really fun project. I always enjoy trying to find new ways to use some of the stuff that I have. I haven't determined yet where in the book they're going to go, but when I am finished this journal, I will do a flip through. I won't be doing videos for a while. We have company coming until the end of the month, so I will be back after that. If you have any questions, just let me know. And I really want to thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks again. Bye.